Welcome to our Monday Mastermind. And today is a very special day because all of our leaders are, and include me, I should be actually in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Arizona right now because we have big meetings with the founder of our company. But anyway, that's unimportant. So a lot of people are gone to the meeting. They're in meeting today until Wednesday. And I happen to be back here because I just got back in town myself because I travel so much. So once in a while, I let my husband go, just kidding. But yeah, so today I'm going to dive deep into, we're going to have a smaller group today, which is kind of exciting because now we can kind of talking and exchanging because, I don't like to speak all that much, believe me. If it's up to me, I'd rather stay in a corner and listen to you guys talk. So please open up the mic and let's dive in as to what's going on with how to work with sellers and buyers in this market. So today's topic, but before we go there, I just wanted to show you, let me share screen real quickly about our website. Okay, let's see, guys, hold on. All right. So if you have, if you're new to our call today, just recognize that we have a website called whygrowglobal.com. We have a group of about 2,300 of us all over the country, all over the world. And what we do is we list and sell real estate and then help everyone else list and sell real estate. And we repeat that every day. And that's what we do. And so if you're on the website, learning right there, and you're going to see the events and you're gonna see that the events is all right down the street. Let's click on the event real quick. So you can always suggest a topic of what you want to speak about. I see that right now in this particular market, we need to talk about how to help seller sell more, seller get their homes moved and how to get buyers to commit to, a buying process. So and if you have any other topic that you would like to talk about, just click on this website right here, click on the link, click here to suggest a topic, and we will talk about it because our goal. Hey, Tamari, welcome, my love. Oh, Tamari, guys, if you haven't met her yet, she is one of the best coaches, in the whole Atlanta. Till you meet her soon. And so that's what we have going on. And then we also have this recording, and all this recording are being posted on YouTube. And right now we have 107 videos. So if you guys have an insomnia, you couldn't sleep at night, just go on there and learn all you could to how to list and sell homes. Okay. And then we also have IG, the IG on Go Global. So follow us and like us. And now let me go back to stop sharing here. And all right. So Tamari, man, what a privilege to have Coach Tamari here too today. I said that earlier, all of our leaders and group are actually in Scottsdale, Arizona right now. And so they let me speaking and I'm like the last person really want to speak, but I'm here. So you guys stuck with me. All right. So without further ado, let's open up about working with sellers. So who in here would like to ask question or would like to contribute or would like to know more about whatever? So because we have leaders like, Tamari's here, Coach Tamari, and we have oh my God, look who's here, Coach Kelly Jackson. This woman, if you listen to her recording, you gotta follow her. She is BA, has a BA degree, like bad degree. Badass. I shouldn't be saying that on recording, but I couldn't help it because she's truly a BA. She's a beast, and her husband are killing. And we have Tony here, so we have many many coaches, and we do this every Monday. We come and we do nothing but share. See what is going on, what's relevant, what are you guys facing that all week long because as realtors we go and sell real estate and we got stuck and we're like, I mean, who am I gonna call, what am I doing? So Monday is the time where you got to join us and have questions. We're like, hey, this seller say this and this, what should I do? Because whatever question you guys have, chances are the person listening to this call have the same question, but they kind of don't want to look stupid. So believe me, I will be the first person like, what does that say? When the LOL first came out, I'm like, what in the world's LOL? And everybody's like, where have you been? I'm like, I don't know, being real, because I don't know anything and everything, but whatever I know, I know. So real estate is the same way. So if we ever say, whatever, like a CMA, like, oh my God, what is a CMA? Well, it is, what it people like, what is a CMA? Some people are new here and they go like, what is a CMA? And people experience like, is this what we're gonna talk about? Low level CMA is, I'm like, it's comparative market analysis. Oh my God, the new people like all excited and the old people go like, whatever. But we are here to contribute to help our experienced agents and brand new season agents. So let's get started. Coach Kelly, would you like to? I said are you guys, some of you guys in Scottsdale today, or are you back and are you in at home?
No, we're in the DMV. We were in Dallas 2 weeks ago, and
Okay.
Keith brought back a bug with him, so then he gave it to me. So
I'm so glad. Can I just have a virtual hug instead of like, a virtual hug so that way we won't have to give in to each other back and forth. So yeah. Tony,
yes.
yeah, Tony Gusto. You don't have to raise your hand, my love. Just unmute and just talk. This is safe space. There's no judgment here. That's
Well,
just,
when I first heard LOL, I thought it was list my log cabin, and I'm like, okay, where's the log cabin at?
See, that is why this group is a safe space for us to come and learn, for experienced people asking serious questions, and then for an all new agent to asking like, hey, you keep talking about a CMA and what is a CRM, all these things. Well, this is here. We are here today. So good deal. That's funny. So I'm not the only one that didn't know what LLL was. And then they add on LAM, a bunch of those. I'm like, okay, I won't ask anymore. I'm sure it has to do something with laughing a lot. How about that? So, all right. So I would like to start out by right now, who is facing some challenges with seller and buyers? Let's tackle that right now. Anybody? Or who doesn't have any buyer
So
or seller?
Well, I mean, I have something to say in terms of the market that we're in because we really are in a skills-based market. And it's important to, whether we're working with a buyer or a seller, we have to let them know exactly what's going on because I don't know about everyone else on the call, but we have sellers here in the DMV area that are holding on to COVID market prices, and those prices are gone, just like the interest rates are gone. So we have to work in the present. And one of the things that when we go to a listing appointment and we're talking to a seller, showing them the data and then saying, you know what, here's the data. Now that you've seen it, I personally price homes to create a bidding war, not to chase buyers. Do you want to list to sit or do you want to list to sell? And now be quiet and let them make the decision because their house is going to sit if it's not priced right in this market, or do they want it to sell, create a frenzy around it, and get people to actually give you a little bit more money because someone else is interested in it as well. With a buyer, it's also important to have standards. So, any buyer that I am going out with, they have been through digital underwriting with a lender. They have a buyer compensation or buyer agency agreement signed, and I know what they're looking for. We're not like stabbing in the dark. So those are my standards that I have in working with clients today because if I'm not working with people that are compelled to do something, I'm wasting time and spinning wheels, and I can't get that time back. So that's my take on the market, and um, I imagine everyone else is seeing some similar things out there.
Well, let me recap what the golden nuggets Coach Kelly Jackson just dropped in case you guys haven't heard it. Let me repeat it. Okay, so what she's saying is that, I mean, the question she asked beautifully is like, I mean, the way she communicating to the seller, how she's pricing the home. She pricing what? To help, help bidding war, not to sit there and be like a competition. Because let me tell you this, As of right now, Friday, as soon as I landed in Georgia, the Friday, I mean, my staff booked my whole day. I went and viewed 10 homes in 4 hours, okay? And
Oh,
I tell you
wow.
what, yeah, I did it. Why? Because I know the market's doing, and part of my as an educator, I want to know what's going on, right? And let me tell you this. After I view, everybody call me for feedback. I'm like, let me tell you this. I'm going to give you the feedback because I'm a professional. I want to help another professional because you know how hard it is to have a home sitting on the market, nobody's showing. And I look at home is sitting on the market for a long, long time. I just went and see that home and give them feedback because that is our job to support the community and teach other realtors who don't know what's up, who don't know what's going on, and you know how to market. So if I see a listing of Kelly, I better tell my buyer, I'm like, oh my God, we gonna go and buy that home on at the price she put in because this woman had done homework. So you cannot blowballing this woman at all because she knows her market. You see what I'm saying? So when I did preview all those 10 homes, let me tell you this, you can see the level of experiences this agent, it make me so sad. I almost like, can you join me on a Monday mastermind so I can coach your behind how to list this home, how to, because these people are like, I mean, they have no idea. I mean, it's so sad, guys. And Kelly was saying earlier, this is a skill-based business, okay? And the skill has to be learned, just like we go and get a 4 years in college and maybe not have a job at all. But in real estate, you just got a license and here you go. And the seller just trusted you with the biggest asset. And so experienced people like us, I'm in real estate 27 years, right? And Kelly's like a long time. And so many of us are here, have ton of years in a real estate experience. We know how to work in any market. And that's why we're here to give back, to show you guys that any market, you can make money in any market. 2008, when everybody's crying, I was killing it. And now everybody's crying, I'm still killing it. You know what I mean? And because people have no idea. And Kelly was amazing. You saying, you make sure you communicate to the seller. And then she also said of how to work with buyers. Her time is valuable. And you don't have to be experienced like Kelly to do it. You can be brand new and understand the market and set your standard right now. So I always train people when people are, oh, I'm getting my license right now. I don't want to join your call because it's intimidating. I'm like, no, that's the more reason why you gotta come and listen, because you gotta listen to the people who are actually doing it and killing it and learn from them. So
Mm,
yeah.
I'm just going to interject here because, if you do come across, much like you just said, Kim,
Yes.
with a house that is overpriced, call the agent up, talk to them, see what, feel them out a little bit and find out, because are they that experienced where they have overpriced the house, or is it the sellers that, feel that they're sitting on a higher asset value than what it truly is worth? And sometimes, like, I had one where knew the market very well, went in there, looked at the house. They had it overpriced by, I think it was like 40 or 50,000. And I was talking to the agent, and this house had been on the market for like 7 or 8 months. And I asked the agent flat out, I said, are you just collecting listings, or are you trying to, have sales? And I had seen, when I looked up them, I saw that they had a bunch of listings that were not sold for a long time. So I knew it was them and not the seller. And they were like, I want to sell houses. And I said, okay, well, then I think you need to have your come to Jesus moment. And this is what I would tell my sellers. And I said, I had a come to Jesus moment today. And, I was praying on this. And I think we might have, listed this house a little too high. And we've got an offer. It's from some solid buyers. And she presented it. We actually won. We got into some negotiations. We got it very close to where I felt comfortable with my buyers picking it up at, and my buyers were comfortable with it. That it still would appraise. It was a little high, but they liked the house and wanted the area. So I was like, I warned them this might not appraise, but if not, we can, certainly talk about options at that point. And we were getting all the contracts written up, and I don't know where this woman found it or what. Somebody came in, was 10,000 or 15,000 more than my client's offer. And they were like, we just got this offer in. And my seller is saying that they want to take this unless your buyers will match. And my buyers were like, no, we're overpaying a little bit, but we're not overpaying by that. And the house isn't probably going to appraise out. We went looking out later that day, found a house they ended up purchasing, and this house ended up losing that sale and going back and sitting even longer.
Wow, man, that's crazy. That's a really active professional in the market. Want to help other people and educating them, and that's great. So, Tamari, tell us what is your experience so far with these sellers, this market?
Well, it's kind of crazy. It goes back and forth here, in the Atlanta metro market. It seems like you've had, some listings that have jumped off the market quick. Price right, all of that stuff. Because I have a listing coming down the street from a house that you just sold in DeKalb.
Mm.
But it depends on the area and the location. So like right now, I have a listing, and oh my gosh, I don't even want to say the days on the market because it's been on the market forever. But the
How many days? Just
comps,
give it so we can know the real. How many days? Just give it. This is safe space. Remember, we all learn from each other.
look, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. How many days is that?
Okay, so that's 6 months, right? 6 months.
Six times three, 180 days?
Yep,
Uh,
that's realistic right there. I get you. Keep going.
I mean, and I've taken it off the market and relisted it so that I could get some boom. I got the sellers to decrease the price
Good.
50,000, but it's still quiet. But back in February, the comps were for a house like that at 420, no, 450, 460. The house is on the market now for 375. It's the lowest one in the area, and it's
Wow.
still sitting. So I'm sort of perplexed. So what I did yesterday, it's on the Beltline, a very popular area in Atlanta. And I printed these cute little flyers, and I went to about 5 Beltline restaurants and passed out
Mhm.
this little card to anybody I could see to say, live on the Beltline, please come to my house. I'm gonna
Good.
work with the sellers and see if I can reduce it another 25,000, and pray. Sell. Although like houses in my area, I went to an open house yesterday, and the agent was like, I have 3 offers. So I'm like, what's happening? So anyway, any advice anyone wants to give me other than reduce, it's like, can I get somebody to see this house?
I've
So,
got a couple questions
and the
for you.
last, yeah, what's the question?
Um, how is the condition of the house? Is it like, you know, in need of repairs? Like, is things older inside? You know, curb appeal good? What's kind of, some things like that, because I've got a couple ideas in my head that might not be it'll be reduced, but not a reduced look to it.
Right. Well, the home is an Airbnb, and so it's
Okay.
fully
Mm.
furnished. Everyone who sees it says it's so cute. I've asked the seller, many times because they bought it. I was their buyer's agent a few years ago, and I helped them set up the Airbnb and asked that they upgrade the kitchen and the bath, but they don't want to put any more money into it. So, I'm getting a contractor to like write up a easy how to upgrade this house, how much it'll cost to get a new kitchen and add a bath because it's only a 1 bath, which is a problem, with that listing, but it's priced way lower than the 2 baths in the area. So anywho, all that to say, it looks good, but it's not clean and brand new looking, but it's cute.
Oh,
So,
Okay. A couple things you can do where, yes, it is sort of a price reduction, but in the eyes of the buying public, it'll help out is, you know, offer something like uh all like how are their ratings on the vacation rentals? Like are they on both Airbnb and VRBO? You can offer to give them all of the previous listings and everything, like not the listings, the what the heck am I thinking of here where they get rated on uh so
oh,
that they
like the
can,
reviews?
yes, they can
Air
you give them
DNA.
all the reviews
Mm-hmm.
and things like that where it's something small, or offer them like, hey, you know, if they had carpeting in there and it looks, old and dingy, we'll offer you a $10,000 carp credit for the carpeting, things like that, in order to entice buyer, because then they're going, okay, I can see this, here's the value play in this, and it doesn't sting as much to the seller, you know, initially, because when you tell them, hey, I want to reduce the price, that's a, kick to the gut. But if you tell them, hey, I want to offer these incentives, and you pose it that way, it flips the script to where when a buyer's looking at that, they're going to see, oh, I'm going to get this, and oh, they're offering that, and it's a way to entice people to kind of come in a little more, and it's a little different. I don't know if
Mm.
Kelly or Kim have any other ideas to suggest or to pivot or add to that, but that's a start.
Kelly,
Thank
you want to
you.
go first, or you want me to go?
Uh, well, I got a couple ideas. One
Yeah.
is to start networking with some investors who own other properties. Also, I've been using, and of course, I'm at EXP, but maybe people have other companies. But uh, sometimes I'll take a property off market and move it to our private just to get away from that old market time that's sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing, but I would definitely recommend starting to network with some investors and getting that list of your top few investors that you can go to, because this is a prime example of when
Um,
we have that conversation with the seller, and then we start chasing the market because those properties are now sitting and people no one wants a property that no one else wanted. It's psychological. And so that would be my recommendation in terms of, and also I don't know what that price point is for your area, but I've been using Marketplace. I have four listings in Baltimore that are investment properties. I stuck them on Facebook Marketplace, and oh my goodness, it immediately injected, not that they have high market times, but it immediately injected interest into the property, and I put it in all these investment groups. I've got more buyers than I have properties to sell them.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah, I've
Also,
gotten a lot of investor offers on this property, but they've been like 100,000, less. It's just
Kenny,
stupid. So,
right.
Yeah,
So,
it's all about the numbers in terms of what AirDNA says. That's the site that you can go to. What it says that you can make in terms of income for this property, and I wouldn't limit it to. I know Keith just sold. It was an Airbnb, but he sold it to some owner occupants.
oh
So I
yeah.
wouldn't limit it. Yeah,
And that's really the goal. A lot of people aren't excited about Airbnb in our area. It's just like, yeah, whatever. But although, the World Cup is going to do a lot of stuff here in Atlanta. So I've been pushing
but
that. Yeah.
But Tony kind of alluded to it. So with the Airbnb, some people are always concerned about the wear and tear on the property. So like a fresh coat of paint, some paint touch-ups, maybe some light staging can give it a new look. And then it's also important to not have it active as an Airbnb because is this still being used as an Airbnb?
No.
No. Okay, good.
Yep.
Okay.
So I have a
It-
question for you, Kamari. Oh, sorry. Tony, you want to go?
Yeah, I just had something else because Kelly brought this up and it kind of sparked an idea in my head. If you do have it listed and there's no showings, but you're advertising it as that it could potentially be an Airbnb, get what's called an APOD, which is everything that the property made as well as all of the expenses from the owner, and put that in my MLS. I know we can do this, and I'm assuming you can upload this to where only an agent could see that and access it, so that they can verify that, okay, hey, as an Airbnb, this generated X amount of revenue, and these were the expenses. So this is the, cash flow you can expect it if you left it at this. And if they still have all of the old furniture and everything in there, I'm assuming, you know, definitely try to look and does it feel cluttered, and maybe a quick restaging and some new photos will get it to jump off a little quicker.
Well, that's good. Good idea. So we're talking about Tamari has a listing right now that's been sitting on the market for a little bit, and she's kind of asking for some tips. So my first question to can I talk to you, Tamari, like a seller right now? Is that okay? Because I do better when I'm being real. You know what I mean? I don't do well with hypothetical. I'm like, this is how we can do. So I mean, so okay, so the Airbnb. Why are we selling this, Tamari? Why is your seller selling it?
I'm the seller. I'm just tired of having to deal with the property. We got it in 2019, and we get decent activity with the Airbnb, but the maintenance costs, we make a little bit of money, but not enough for us to hold on to this property. We're trying to get rid of some of our headaches, and it's not a headache per se, but it's just more work than we thought it was going to be. So we're ready to let it go.
Okay, so you have a headache right now, right?
Yep.
Okay, so are you in a migraine stage or you kind of still have a headache? Because having headache in this market right now, I'm telling you, I'm real like that. A headache in the market right now, you might move the property, but if you have a migraine, then I can really help you move I mean, you see what I'm saying? So when I drill into the seller, so I'm gonna give you a case in point of the listing that I just had that was aging, and I was telling Coach Kelly this like about I don't know, four masterminds ago, that I had a listing that I am the expert at this. And this listing was like, it was on a market for over 3-4 months. That is like, never once in my real estate career, right? But coming in there, I knew that. Because what happened was they buying the home at the very high. So at 2019, okay, whatever the amount she was buying at the high, so right then and there, before I take your listing right now, Tamari, I said, Tamari, we love each other. We hang out in, Miami. We had dinner. I love you. I'll do anything for you. I'll die for you if I have to. But let me tell you right now, if you have a headache right now on your listing, I'm like, just go ahead and take some Advil and just sit there. Okay, I'm being very, very transparent. And you're like, whoa, Kim, I really have a migraine. I just didn't want to tell you. You say, so you see what I'm saying? And then now I'm like, okay, if you have a migraine and you really want to fix, I can come in and fix it right now. And here's what I'm gonna say is that I'm going to, is the person is the seller in Atlanta too? Okay, so what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna recommend this, which I do for all of my seller, is you gonna take right now, look at is 5 competition, okay, right now of that listing, and spend one day, a day, take them to lunch and go and visit all those other homes. Okay, that's what I'll be doing. And because you have a migraine right now, you're going to be that surgeon that removed that migraine. I know that's not how you really fix migraine, but I'm going to be a little graphic so you know. So you take her and see that property and say, listen, when you bought it, and then you really are going to sit down and do number, because when you work with sellers, the biggest thing is you have to be driven by data. You have to know what the market's saying about a home. And you also have to know that how many homes like her, they're sitting there, and the people who have a headache right now are kind of like, oh, I just want to sell it. Won't work. Your motivation to move has to be extreme. Like, my heart is broken. It's like extremely pain. I told myself, if you have a little kind of uncomfortable, just keep it. Keep it until you really needed me. Because when you need me, you know that if I couldn't fix your your condition, nobody else can. So that's what I had a conversation with the last listing, the listing that I finally, Kelly, got contract on that. Okay, but here's how I did it. I went in there and I told them, starting out by listing at 480, and they gave me these eyes. They pay 500, and they say, Miss Kim, I owe 480, and you want me to bring how much to the closing table? And literally, so the net proceed, you have to work with numbers with them from the very beginning, okay? Because you don't work with these sellers from the very beginning and break down the numbers with them and dissect their headache or a migraine, you know, because migraine, you rather go ahead and die, okay? Those are the people I work with. I don't want to work with people who have headache. I'm like, you can call any other people, they can handle your headache like until 10 months, 10 years from now, they still have the listing, like Tony said earlier, right? So once you do that, you know that, then like for my seller, I say, if we can list your home at market price right now, which was 514, which is everybody was about 514, we can list it, but it's going to sit there for at least 3 to 4 months. I'm just happy that I'm not saying all that, but I'm saying it might sit there for about 3 to 4 months, if you're saying that, and then it might move, it might not, okay? And they go like, oh my God, what are you saying? I'm like, well, do you have to sell this home? They moving to North Carolina from Georgia, right? And I said, well, might as well just rent it out. Oh, by the way, last I checked, your rental cap rate is up. No investor could even buy in this area. They get the eyes wide open. You see what I'm saying? So you go in there with statistic, with facts, because right now nobody want to buy Airbnb right now. Even you want to dumping that listing of yours. You get what I'm saying? So you have to go and take up the market and just check them up and just have a real conversation with them, right? So what I told my seller was, I'm like, I know we are 514 right now. It's gonna sit here for a while until we move closer to below 500, you know, and then we're gonna talk. And we are the end unit. It's a beautiful, you know, townhomes and everything right here in Suwannee. And I told my seller that, and weekly, girl, weekly, I send them market report. Oh, this week we have like no showing, no showing. Then we have one showing. You see what I'm saying? Every week, I tell them straight up, at this price, nobody's seeing it. And that's like, when I was listing that property, it was only 3 townhouses on the market. By the time, like right now, it has like 10. You get it? You get it now? So I told my seller, I'm like, remember when we were talking about 480? We need to move closer to that. And I finally get them after 4 months to reduce them to go to like 489.9. I said, we still high. We're still high. So long story short, we had an offer coming in below that. But I'm like, do you remember where I told you we need to be? And they're like, yes. I'm like, well, they are right there. You can accept it. And they go like, and then long story short, they accepted it at the price that I recommended. But you have to be that person that don't care and say, hey, your headache, not my headache, didn't mean that, but I'm like, hey, you bought into the headache. You just get her and take the headache until you become like have a migraine. Then we'll talk, you know, because and then they didn't have $40,000. I'm like, well, we gotta figure it out. Or you're gonna keep paying that 5,000 a month. And 5,000 a month time, you know what I mean? Like I did math. I'm like, if you keep paying 5,000 a month here, so 5 months from now is what? 25 grand, right? And then, you know, so they already at the loss. So you have to continuously communicate numbers and facts with them. who are we competing with? And if you don't move this price down, how long you'll be sitting there? So that's what you're gonna be doing. And take that seller to go around and see those 5 homes. So that way you are not the bad guy. I've done that. My seller are grateful, and one of my seller was out of town. Guess what? I'm on Zoom, girl. You know, I'm creative. I'm like, we're gonna go and see this 5 home together. So I'm very animated and creative. And I'm like, I don't care where we're gonna go. You're gonna go with me. I want to show you exactly what you're facing, your competition, because I'm that doctor that when I do surgery, I don't make mistakes. And they go like, okay. So that is how to fix your home. So guys, we're talking about seller and buyers now. So we've been on the seller message a lot. Anybody want to contribute to?
Actually, I had one other thing for Tamari that I
Thank you,
just thought
Kim.
of.
Yes.
Tamari, have you with this being a vacation rental, is it still listed on Airbnb and VRBO and bookings.com and everything, or no?
It's it has like a hold on it.
Okay, so you've blocked off the
Yeah.
okay, good.
Mhm.
My thought is you can also list it for sale on there, because other owners will if they're looking to check their pricings for their rentals and making certain things, that can also open up a whole new avenue and place to get eyeballs on it that you're not thinking of and just thinking slapping on the MLS. So you can list it for sale on those, and that could help out.
I didn't know that. I'll check with the property manager and see about that. Thank you.
You're
Awesome.
welcome.
So sum it up, guys, working with seller in this market, 2025 and beyond, you got to go on their number one first and foremost. You drill into their motivation and see how sick they are. And like I said, if they have a headache, it might not work. They have to have a migraine. I think that's my new line right now for them to work, because if not, they won't work with you. Because like my son, he was sick for like last week, and I told him to spray this serum in his mouth, and he's like, ew, it tastes terrible. I'm like, I'm not talking about honey here, I'm talking about medicine, Cash. And he was like, resist until I'm like, hey, Cash, apparently you're not paying for it enough. I'm treating him like a darn seller. I promise you, I treat my kids that way. And Cash was like, last night he's like, okay, mommy, whatever, just give it to me. And I sprayed it, and he's like, oh, it tastes terrible, but it feels better. You get what I'm saying? So we have to treat the seller the same way, especially in this market right now. And then now let's turn the corner, talk about buyers. So now we see that Coach Tony Williams is here. So would you like to, kind of give our our agents here some tip about how to work with buyers in a market like this, sir?
Yeah, I mean, we're working on a situation right now where, not to get back into the seller side, but to tell you how we worked it out with the buyer. We have a seller who's too high, 440. It should be 420 all day long. That's what the comps show. So we've been going on and on and on. Take the medicine, and got to get it down to where it needs to be. So yesterday, someone showed the property, and we also had an open house, and they showed up while we were there. And yesterday, we really showed them the advantages of the property. Well, the agent called me and says, we're going to put in an offer, but we're not going to put in an offer at your list price because you're too high. And I want to say, I agree with you. Of course, I didn't say that.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. But what I did do is I said, put an offer together and include your comps. Okay. This is important. Okay. Include your comps. You're going to come in lower. I can tell you're coming in lower. And I wanted to say, I agree with you. But I said, give us a copy of how you came up with your price. So this morning we got the offer. Sure enough, it wasn't 440, it was 415. And she sent her comps, and the comp shows 420. So I went to my seller and I said, hey, look, this is proof. This is the medicine. Okay. This is proof that what we've been talking about is true. Here's an offer. They've included their comps, on the side here to prove how they came up with it. So probably what we're going to do now, they came in at 415, and we're probably going to go back at 425, and I think it would appraise for that because the comps are about 8, 9 months old. But asking that buyer to include the comps when they put in a little lower offer is going to help everybody understand what it ought to be priced at. Most importantly, our seller. So he's already talking. He said, let's get together this evening. We'll come up with something, make all this work. I said, okay, great. I said, we've got the documentation now showing what it ought to appraise for from the buyer. And he's agreeing with them. So,
That is amazing. So, translation, if you are in this market and you're working with buyers, you make sure, again, you got to know the CMA that I was alluding to earlier is to be masterful at the comparative market analysis, whether you're a seller or buyer, because either way, you got to be able to communicate to that client who is looking to list the home or to to buy. And you need to be able to, if they're going in there, if the buyer is going in there such a low expectation, oh, I'm going to lowballing everything, and you need to be able to come up with your CMA. I'm like, well, we are like way off that, what I mean, they already price it perfectly. So that's great, Tony. Coach Kelly, you were going to say something.
Yes, I was just going to say that some agents really are going to have to re-educate themselves as well, because they are unfortunately encouraging their buyers, especially in a house like Tamari's property, where maybe it's been on the market and they've already lowered it. So I had a situation, buyer agent called me and was like, Kelly, she's in another area. I have this client, he wants your area. He's already picked out a house. I was like, okay, great. And the area, I had just sold a property in that area, so I knew all the values. This house was priced to the penny. It was actually priced a little below market, but it had come down. And so it got market time and no one was touching it. And he wanted this house. And I said, look, this is where that house is priced, you're going to have a higher appraisal if you write an offer. So he wanted to write a low ball offer. And we're going back and forth because we still have to do what our clients want us to do, even though I told them, mm-mm. So we came to a price, and sure enough, just like in Tony's case, here comes the other offer. We ended up having to go back to full price. And he ended up getting the property, but he would have saved $10,000 had he decided to make a serious offer in the first place. So he ended up paying more money for the same property because that other offer came in. And the lesson learned for the buyer is that, like you said, they have to look at the comps. Now they're free to go in, but some agents actually believe, well, it's been on the market, let's go in and lowball. That is not sound advice. Use the data, not what you think in your head about what this property should or shouldn't be worth, because someone will swoop in. There's other people that are doing the same math and saying, you know what, this was the best deal on the market. There was no house priced in the fives in this area. They were all 6 to 7, and here we were in the fives. Fortunately, he got it, and we're closing on Friday. So
Wow.
great.
we really have to work to educate our clients, whatever side we're on. Like, here is what the data says. Don't be swayed by the fact that it's been on the market. They started too high, and now we're here, and it would have saved him $10,000 had he listened to his agent, but
Yeah,
he didn't.
I agree with Kelly. I'll tell you, education of our sellers is so important. One of the things that we do on every listing is we build in about 2% as a hidden fee, you might say, for negotiation. So if I've got a $500,000 property, in the expense line, I've got something there that says we're going to put $10,000 in this for negotiation. Now, if you list this at a price that's very competitive, you may not have to use any of that 10,000, okay? Because they may come in high enough where they're not going to try to adjust your list price or they may come in where they're not going to ask for closing costs or some sort of consideration. But I always build it in. And I'm leading into this to tell you, it's more important for people to understand that they need to remember their net walk away, not the price. I mean, we have some people they hang their hat on price, and then when we'll do a net sheet for them, and the net sheet is paying off the mortgage, showing what the compensation is for both the listing broker and then for the buyer broker, and then some junk fees, and then we got that negotiation room. But it's more important to keep up with that seller of here's what you're going to walk away with right after the closing. That's what we want to focus on, because whenever an offer comes in and they're focusing on price, they may go, hey, I want 500. Well, actually, you can take 490, because of the net, the walk away. And the thing is making sure you educate your people where they always think about walk away and not price. Don't get hung up on an emotional price. Emotional price will kill your deal every time. It will. But the thing is, if you'll focus in on, hey, here's what we're going to get a wire for right after the closing, so we can take it and buy our next property, or we can put it into our investment account. Focus in on what you're going to walk away with. And what I do is I take a picture of that net sheet when I'm at the listing. I give them a copy. I sign off on it. I let them sign off on it. I give them a copy of their net sheet. I take a picture of it. And what I do is I set it into a file on my phone so I can pull it up again. And then when an offer comes in on that property, I'll pull that up, I'll print it out, and I'll say, okay, here's where we were. Here's what your walk away was. Look how close we are to working that out now. But if you hang your hat on an emotional price, it won't work out. Most of the time, well, make sure you always say the most important thing here is your walk away.
And Tony, on the flip side, and working with buyers, it is important to get them to look at their monthly payment and not what the interest rates are. They have no idea what the heck 6% means or 5.95.
Right.
Yet everyone else is talking about it, and so they are fixated on it. But if we can bring them back in that buyer consultation, how much do you want to spend per month? This house fits within what you want to spend per month, because so many people, agents, buyers, the media, everyone's focusing on the interest rates. Bring them back around to what is your payment going to be, and does that fit into your lifestyle?
Yeah,
Otherwise,
we had
go
a
ahead.
call this morning. It came in on our Google business profile, and the lady just said, we're first time buyers. What are we supposed to do? Most importantly, don't look for homes until you've been pre-qualified. Look for that monthly payment that you need to work with. You might find, because the rates have fallen some recently, they're as low as they've been in a year. Okay. And because the rates have fallen, you may find that you can afford a little bit more, or you may want to say, hey, my monthly payment, I want it to be here. But the best thing to do is stay away from that computer until you get pre-qualified. When you get pre-qualified, now you know what you can afford, then go to our website and do it. And I'll tell you, as far as, counseling a buyer, I hate to say this, I tell them, stay away from Zillow. Don't search for homes on Zillow. I mean, essentially what you're going to find is many of those homes have already sold. So I send them to our website and I tell them we take the sold properties off every day. And you can keep pending in there as one of your criteria in case you want to be notified if that contract falls apart. But the thing is don't search on Zillow, because you may, you may find out you're just looking at properties that have already sold. But don't search at all until you've been pre-qualified and you know what that monthly payment is going to be. That's good advice, Kelly.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
So sum it up. On working with seller and buyers, the first thing we have to do is what? Educate them, right? And how do we educate them? For sellers, we got to find the number one thing in seller is find out the deepest motivation. And like I always said, that's gonna be my new thing now, right? I'm like, are they having a headache, or are they at migraine level, right? So for newbies, who just never list home and stuff, let them work with the people who have a headache. But people like us, we are like brand surgeon, man. We're gonna go in there, like you gotta list a home, and because we're gonna come in and explain numbers and facts and what's going on. Like this right now in Atlanta, like we have on this call people all over the country that are listening to us. In Atlanta, Georgia, right now, it is the buyer's market. I don't know about your city. So if your city, wherever you are, is the seller market, I want to move there. Okay, but from the most of the states, we have the buyer's market right now, and that's important to know so that way you can work with the seller better. And right now, like Coach Kelly say and Tony were talking about monthly payment. That is one of my biggest thing I want to bring up. I'm like, when it comes out to buyers, you like seller, you need to talk about motivation. The buyers, you need to talk about what? Monthly payment. That's what I want to zero in is monthly payment. Is like how much, hey, you talk to people who are renting their homes right now, right? Go and visit those people. I'm like, hey, I see that you're paying like, $2,500 a month, and you go and based on the market, I'm like, hey, for that same payment, right, that you have, check out this house. You can move from that two-bedroom apartment to this home right here. You like to take a look? And they say, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, sometimes I know that in the past, I always teach people like, don't get the buyers to see any home before they get qualified. But let me tell you, this is how I've done it. Okay, what I've done is like, I get the person never thought about moving, like in the apartment. Okay, and literally like, hey, you want to check out this out? It is so cool because I was gonna go and take a look at a house anyway, right? So I did a numbers. I'm like, that 2,500 bucks go right here for this, $300,000 home or whatever I was looking at, and I bring it to them. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go and take a look at this house. You want to check it out? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, well, what you're paying right there, if it works out, this will be the home for you. So I'm going there as a friend. I wasn't even, not even trying to sell them anything. So when they went in there, they loved the home, and they're like, I'm like, okay, well, they're not sure if they qualify for, but I already know that their credit were good. They've been paying their, rent on time. Kind of have side conversation because I know these people, right? I know that they've been on time on everything. I know that they don't have a car payment. So intuitively, I knew by going in there, knowing that they don't have any debt right now, they just try to save up to pay the house cash. Believe me, okay? But I say, you don't have to pay the house cash. You know what I mean? Right now, you can get a mortgage. So go show some of the property and then get them qualified as well if you have time, for newbies, okay? For people who new in real estate. But if you experience like a Tony and a Kelly, man, yeah, you want to work with a brand surgeon, you need to go get qualified. You need to work with Kim, you got to go qualify, right? Tom, right? You got to do that. But if you brand new, go, because you as a brand new person got to go and take a look at this inventory anyway to know. So what better way to do it by just grab somebody and go and show the property and get them excited and then get them qualified. You see what I'm saying? As like experienced people, we got to qualify them first.
Kim, let me ask Marie, okay?
Yep.
So we have Airbnbs as well, but what we found was, if you get good 5-star reviews on your Airbnb accounts, people are going to continue coming, and people are going to, book more. Probably Airbnb is the best investment I have right now. Because we're talking about our monthly payments $1,200, and I'm bringing in $5,000-6,000 a month. So, but the thing is we're real focused on making sure they know how to check out. First of all, take the garbage out, clean the house up just a little bit, because the cleanup crew's coming in right in behind you. And we tell them what to do. And then we'll say, if you'll do these few little things, we're going to leave you a great review in Airbnb as someone who leases the properties. And we just ask you to do the same thing for us. So we find that people, they enjoy it, they book it, and they write good reviews. So reviews are real important on Airbnb to keep it going, keep it booked up. And then, what we ended up doing is we found a cleaning crew that essentially lives next door. And we went to them and said, hey, look, we'll pay a little bit more if you know somebody that'll help us keep this place up. So we pay a little bit more for the cleaning crew, it stays in great shape, and then people give us great reviews. So, you know, man, I just wonder, I wouldn't want to sell an Airbnb, to tell you the truth. You know, we're in the top 5% in Airbnb right now, but it's because of our reviews. That's what it is. So
Well,
anyway,
well, maybe Tony wants to buy your listing tomorrow.
yeah,
I
where is
know.
it?
Yeah, maybe you should I'll send it to you, and then you
Okay.
can tell me what is wrong with it,
Yeah,
on
sure.
the Airbnb side anyway, or we'll let you manage it and make them 5,000 a month, you know?
Yeah.
Because I don't do the Airbnb management or anything like that. So
Is
I'm
it,
not,
is it your personal property
no, it
as well?
belongs to a
Someone
client.
else?
Yeah.
Okay.
hmm
Okay.
And I don't manage Airbnbs. I just helped them furnish it during COVID because I was tired of them just having the house sit there. I was like, y'all said y'all were going to do this. When are we going to do it? And I had
I'll tell
time, of
you,
course.
and this is kind of off subject a little bit, but what we decided is we're going to manage our own Airbnb ourselves because we want to communicate with the people that are staying there. When you use an outside service, they won't allow you to communicate with the people that are going to stay in your house. When we were able to communicate with them, you know, I mean, we would say, you know, we communicate with them. We'd say, hey, you're welcome to use the kayaks. You know, this is where the life jackets are. Hey, this is where the greatest, you know, fish restaurant in town is. You know, so we communicate with the people. Back when we had no communication, we used a management company. It was a terrible experience, and we weren't getting the rentals because we had no input, no relationship with the people there. Anything in real estate is relationship driven. Everything, listing, sales, Airbnb, no matter, it's all, you got to be able to talk to people.
Right.
And
No, that
I,
makes sense.
And I wanted to say one more thing. It was going back to what Kim said earlier about looking for the motivated. In this market, we've got to have more at bats. And so because everyone isn't going to be motivated. And so if we're going to still, do business, it's having more conversations, developing more relationships, like Tony said. And so we do have to up because there are fewer sales. What did we go from 6 million to 4 million nationwide? It's something like that. It was pretty dramatic. And so, what are you going to do different in this market? Because we talked about buyer and sellers and setting expectations and looking for the motivated, but we've got to talk to more people in order to make sales, in order to make a difference and an impact.
Wow. Man, today's call, that's great. It's an amazing call. I love real life, situation, so we can talk about it. And tomorrow I will go and take a look at a property of yours, you know what I mean? And definitely give you feedback and on the feedback so you can give it to them,
Yes, thank you, thank
Yeah,
you. It's
I
in
will
West
do.
Midtown. It's
Yeah,
really cute. So
absolutely.
I'll send it to
Well,
you and Tony. Like y'all give me some feedback.
Okay.
absolutely. This is why we're here, guys. Every week, every Monday from 12 to 1, we go in here, you bring your real life problems, and we have real life coaches that will, or colleagues that, hey, I'm like last time I was stuck with something. I asked you guys, and you guys helped me. And, that's what we do. We mastermind every Monday to, help our sellers and buyers and all, everyone all over the world. But anyway, guys, so we are 1 minute away from the clock. I want to respect your time. And guys, join us again for next week. Because based on this topic that we have about, I will suggest that we have another open forum and talk about how to sell home fast in a high inventory market. You know what I mean? That'd be a fun topic next week. And we are going to come back and give you item by item, beside that medicine, beside that, get them to, drill down to their motivation. We're going to have other 5 steps that they must do. So we're going to talk more about that next Monday. So come back here, join us live at 12 to 1 o'clock Eastern time. So guys, have a great afternoon. And this will be, is this recorded, and we will post it, and then you can see all the links that we have up here, our Facebook, our mastermind, and our IG, and our YouTube. And if you have another topic that you're really excited about, go to our website, ygrowglobal.com. Like I'm going to show you one more time and show you guys, just go in there and suggest a topic. And that's all you do. All right, guys, just have a wonderful afternoon and relax, and let's go and sell some homes. Woohoo! Well, bye, guys. Take care. Thank you so much.
Hey, Kim,
Hopefully,
I've got one. I've got a good one for next week. I've got one
same.
that's an
Yes, same
absolute
here.
dumpster fire.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I've got one that's an absolute dumpster fire, and and I cannot get the seller to allow me to take inside pictures, and it's on acreage, and it is priced lower than anything in that area, and I'm having trouble. It's been on the market for several months. We've dropped the price once. They can't drop it anymore, and you
Well,
know,
just like my son, it's too bitter. I don't want to take the medicine. I will get back with you next Monday. I want to do it
okay,
live because
sounds
everybody's
good.
going to be able to learn of how I get people to take medicine at a way, at a level. If they don't want to take medicine, guess what, Sana? You have done a great job. You are the surgeon. I'm going to teach people how to be a brand surgeon in real estate. And that's what I'm passionate about. Because if they don't, because sometimes as realtors, and we'll talk more about it next week because we take it up on ourselves. We feel a certain way and didn't want to kind of make them feel bad. It's not our problem. You see what I'm saying? We
Yep.
are the brand surgeon. People come to us and the surgeon go like, the patient, I don't want to get surgery. I'm like, well, you know what? Let's stick for the condition. And that's what I teach
Yep.
people all the time. So we'll talk more
Yep.
about it next week, Sana. Thank you, guys,
Sounds good.
and love you
Thank you.
guys. See you next Monday.
Bye.
Come back and bring that listing. We'll talk about it. We show you how to be the great surgeon in real estate. Man, I'm gonna be that line. Bye, guys.
Okay.
Bye,
Thank
honey.
you. Bye.
Yes. Bye-bye.